Welcome to the Educators Table podcast, where early childhood educators pull up a chair, get real, start conversations, and grow together. Happy Friday! Thanks for joining us as we continue on with part 2 of our conversation with educator Hannah. Last week, we talked about how we dealt with a biting situation in our toddler room, strategies to address it, and we started to talk about how Emily and Hannah built their little toddler community together. It was a really special episode. We hope you enjoyed it, and we're so excited to dive into the next stage. So we're going to continue on with our conversation talking about building community in the toddler room and a couple of fun stories around that. And then we're going to dive into potty training, which is one of Hannah's specialties. She's so passionate about it, and we're so excited to have her on again. I'll be linking our social media handles in the podcast notes, so please give us a follow, subscribe to the podcast wherever you like to listen, and please enjoy. Bringing parents into the game too was also just like a whole nother level that needed to happen too. And like, as a toddler parent myself, I was feeling it from both the educator side from you guys and the parent side of it. And yeah, that was a huge thing, was just giving them something that they can do at home to work on it as well. Because there's a lot of educators that will like message or call parents and tell them that they need to talk to their kid about this. And as a parent, you're like, it's not going to help like if I just talk to my toddler.
It's such a different environment. Home environment versus daycare environment is so different, and that's where a lot of miscommunication can lie. And so you really have to work with the parents to try and make it consistent for the child.
Yeah.
We did a lot of work with providing them resources, and I think it's so interesting, the job of the educator versus the parent. And there's lots of things that we do that we want to like translate at home, and we're like, imagine if they did this at home and at daycare, and then it would just become routine and habit for them, and it would make our lives so much better. But not every parent knows, and that is okay. And we took the step to give the parents the knowledge and the resources to try and get us all on the same page. It really matters. It's really important that you build those relationships with parents, even though it's hard. And sometimes they get really mad at you. And it's the truth. And not all parents love you. And it's fine. It's just, but it's the job, and you do it for the child, and you care about the child.
I think it was also like a cool thing to have me be a proof of concept. Because I had the toddler that was in the thick of it too. And I was doing these strategies at home and then telling the parents about it. And so I was able to say, like, I've done this at home. I know it works. Give it a try and like see what happens. And I think that was really big in I guess like gaining the trust of the parents as educators.
Yeah. There was definitely a lot of improvements that happened when we took the time to communicate, and then we saw these transferable skills happen for them. It was a big light bulb.
And I think it was also really relieving for the parents to see it too, to see that what they're doing is actually helping. It's making a difference. It's giving their kids these tools, and it fills the parents' toolkit as well. Everyone can learn at any time, and there's so much information to just learn constantly, and to have parents that are willing to have those conversations, wanting to learn, wanting to implement it, it really does go far. And everyone understands that as parents, your workload already is 10 times full. So as educators, we don't want to add to that. We want to make it a little bit more easier, so that as you're sitting at the table, maybe this is a small thing that you could do if you have that time, if you wanted to work on this skill. Just giving them the options of, this doesn't have to happen, but it does work if you would love to try it.
And I'll be honest, it made parenting so much more fun. It made it also feel not like work, because it's so hard. Like, as a parent, you work all day and then you're like dreading picking up your kid because it's going to be like, oh my God, now my parenting job starts. And then you're a parent for the next few hours until it's bedtime. And so it really like changed that perspective for me, where my parenting time became fun time. and it became my playtime too. And it like got to the point where Jace's dad was like, it's time for bed. Please put him to bed. It is 9 p.m. He needs to sleep. I'm like, we're playing. We're having so much fun. And like because we were really like so engaged, and he was really like picking up on the play skills, and he was honestly just so fun to play with at that point that it didn't feel like work.
Yeah.
And that really, it helped me come to work the next day and feel energized because I didn't feel burnt out from my parenting. And it made everything so much better when my work became play and my parenting became play.
Living the dream.
Living the dream.
That's awesome to hear.
The best of both worlds.
Okay, we wanted to quickly pop in and tell you about something we're really excited about. On May 28th, we are officially hosting the Educators Table launch party at Utopia Cafe and Play in Edmonton, Alberta, and we would absolutely love for you to come and celebrate with us. Tickets are only $24 and include a handcrafted beverage and light snacks from the cafe. And honestly, if you haven't been to Utopia yet, it is such a cool place. Think trendy cafe meets beautiful modern play space, amazing handcrafted drinks, cozy aesthetic, and a huge play area where kids can climb and explore, while adults actually get to sit down and enjoy a coffee and conversation. So yes, bring your kids. They are absolutely welcome to come along too. It's going to be a really fun and relaxed evening with good conversations, community, lots of laughs, and a chance to celebrate the official launch of the podcast and membership community together. And the part that we're most excited about, we are going to be recording a live podcast segment during the event, and we're choosing one podcast listener attending the launch party to join us as a guest and share some of their experiences in the field. We'll also be live streaming that 30-minute podcast segment on TikTok and YouTube, which honestly feels equal parts exciting and terrifying. And attendees may or may not get a little surprise while they're there too. If you want to come, the registration link is in the show notes. And when you sign up, you can check off if you'd be interested in being our live podcast guest. This is going to be such a cool, unique experience. You guys don't want to miss it. We seriously cannot wait to meet some of you in person. May 28th, 6:30 p.m., Utopia Cafe and Play. Get your tickets, be there. So now we had come to a point where you guys ended up having to separate.
Sad.
Do you remember that? That was so sad.
I remember that day. It happened like right like that. Like unfortunately,
you guys,
it was
you
so
guys had
sudden.
gotten too powerful. You were too strong together.
Were the dream team.
And so we had to separate you so that you guys could start coaching and developing the skills of your team, of the people around you.
I had to go to a different room with double the children.
Yeah. So we bumped Emily up into the junior preschool room, and Hannah, you took over as the junior toddler room lead.
Yes, I did.
How did you feel about that transition?
I didn't prepare you at all. It was very like, this is happening. Goodbye. It was so fast. And so I don't think I've ever I don't think we've ever had this conversation. So this is going to be exclusive.
I don't think so either. Honestly, as abrupt as it was, really working with you did make me feel like I had all the tools already. So when the role came, I felt already success. I didn't feel like, oh my goodness, all of this is on me. I felt like we created such a beautiful community, and the culture in our room was so strong that I just felt like I felt like you set me up for success. I felt like I was able to just take it.
Yeah, your hand was on the torch. It was already there.
You'd done all the modeling already.
Yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't as stressful as I was thinking it was going to be, especially with the other room partner that I was given. She was honestly amazing as well. So it just
Hannah.
Yeah, so kind of
her name wasn't Hannah, but it was the Hannah way. She was doing it.
I don't even remember who this is, but that's okay.
No, so it felt like I don't know. I felt like no matter what, like, and you were always still there. We still communicated. We still ran ideas off of each other. I was always like, Emily, what are you thinking about this? Does this sound stupid? Like,
I
should
do
I,
remember that. I
is
remember
it gonna
she
work?
you often did that, and then it was to a point where I was like, Hannah, you can do it.
You
You are
you
the
know this is gonna be
you
good, Hannah.
know
You
it. I
know.
believe in you. You don't have to ask. You got this.
You're the lead
Yeah.
now.
You really ran with
Yeah.
it. I mean, I was so
It
glad to
was
support you, but
yeah, it was shocking at first, but at the same time, we built that classroom and the bond that I felt like that we had and the support that I felt in the center. I really felt like I could do anything. Like a tsunami could hit and I'd get all of these toddlers out in time and we'd all be safe.
Oh
Like
my gosh.
it
Okay.
was,
I just remembered this now that I'm like looking at you wearing your toque. Do you remember the toque phase that your community went through, that your little toddler community went through? You and Emily both wore toques,
I do remember
we
that. The
did.
and
hats.
all of the kids wore
Yeah.
toques with you. And
Yeah.
Even
then
your son wanted to wear a hat every day.
every day,
The little
and then
Danny
you
Go
guys,
hat too.
oh my God, yes. And then you guys separated, and then you got your new room partner, which now I remember who it
Yeah,
was. And she started wearing it too
I know. It
every
just
day.
started.
And it was so cool just to it really like reinforced the idea of like community and your classroom culture to me, because it was so unexpected, but then like it really made you guys feel like a family and like a community, and even just like the little thing of everyone having their toques on every day
The
was
phase we
it was
did.
so
We
special,
we created a bill of rights for our
Yes.
room that
right?
we hung in front of like the class for the parents to read because we were so passionate about the community and culture that we had that we wanted to put it in writing.
Yeah, so that the kids had I guess like a foundation and someone who was going to defend
Yeah.
their right to play, their right to get messy, their rights to all of that.
Yeah, our
Oh yeah.
little promise to them because we cared so much. I
Yeah.
recommend it. I recommend sitting down and creating a bill of rights and your promise to yourself as an educator and to
Maybe
the
that could be
community and
an
culture.
exclusive resource drop
Ooh,
that
could
comes
be, could
out.
be.
Oh.
Yeah, but I just remember like loving that
The
little piece,
toques.
the toque community. It was so special and so cute, and I don't think that anything like that strong has come out in the center since.
I would also like to point out that this staff that had joined you had a toque that had a flashlight on it.
It was the
That's
coolest thing, especially
epic.
during bum changes. That kid who was crying on the change table was not crying afterwards. They pressed
Flashlight.
it. Yeah, it was
Amazing.
awesome.
That was so cool. So then, so after you guys had separated and you were kind of becoming your own, like room lead, and I guess like establishing your own identity through that. What kind of came out of the woodworks for you with that?
One thing that right away, I don't even remember how it happened. We were just obsessed with the potty. So the potty training was like a whole, it was biting, it was playing, and then a whole 180 bathroom, bathroom,
It
bathroom,
was
bathroom.
everybody at
Everyone.
every parent at the same time woke up the same Wednesday morning and they were
Yeah.
like, we're potty training today.
Except my
And we
kid.
were like, oh my God, we only have two potties.
Yeah.
Like,
Yes.
what are
How
we
can,
gonna do?
how am I supposed to facilitate this 12 toddlers coming in to two
Literally, it
potties?
was
Oh my,
literally like,
you have to wait.
I swear it was 10 of them. And it almost felt like just when we got the last child on the potty, it was time to start at the first one again.
Yep.
It was
It
never ending.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
a never ending cycle, especially when they all wanted to watch and just observe to see all of the new babies moving up into the toddler room were already so interested in that potty. So they were like, let me see, what are you guys doing? Oh, that's how we do it. Okay, I want to try now. It was just
Oh.
right away.
By that point, you had good examples for the littles that were already kind of doing it and showing, which is
Yeah.
really
And
impactful.
but that also comes back from our toddler community and how well we kind of gave them those resources to ask to feel free to ask those questions, to venture into all of these new things and new transitions.
Well, they understood that their rights were protected by you guys, right? So
Yeah.
that was huge for them. So tell us about like the process of how you actually got kids from being in diapers to being completely potty trained as a junior toddler.
Honestly, some days I just leave the bathroom door open in our room to allow them to be able to go in and see. I never wanted the kids to feel forced into anything at all. I wanted them to just observe and naturally want to try these things, to see that these things aren't scary. They're not being forced on, but it's an option that you could get a diaper change. You could also sit on the potty and pee into the green water, which is so cool and so amazing. So kind of
The green
making it
water. Tell us about the green water.
for like when me and Emily were both in the room, my very first St. Patty's Day, she turned the whole room upside down. I walked in and it looked like a green leprechaun tornado.
Can we
And
pause?
everyone, yeah, of
We have to
course.
pause because I have a traumatic story about that. The first St. Patrick's Day that I worked at the center, because we would do the holidays and make it a thing, and you just remember as a child like the magic of it and how fun it was. And when I was with my sister in that room, it was my first St. Patrick's Day, and we're like, hey, we're gonna go to the dollar store and we're gonna get like all the little things. And then days leading up, like we hadn't gone. We kind of pushed it off. We dropped the ball because life got in the way. And then it was like the day before St. Patrick's Day, and we finally went to the store, and there was nothing at all. And
No.
I was so upset and panicked. I could not sleep the entire night because I was like, oh my gosh, they're going to walk into that room and like nothing's going to be there. And I was just so sad because, of course, every other room like had things. And then it's like, well, why didn't the leprechaun come to my room? And I was like, oh my gosh, I'm a failure as an educator. Did not sleep the whole entire night. And then I came the next day and I tried to like make like a big mess and like flip the tables, and we had some dye, so I would put like dye, like green food dye in the toilets for like leprechaun potty, and and like it eventually worked. Like I put up a little box and like I just found like things within the center that were like goals, and it ended up working out, but that really traumatized me. And like
I
and
mean,
now
really,
it's
they're toddlers.
March.
They don't know any better.
But I feel the responsibility
Emily
to
knew better.
be the
Yeah.
facilitator of like their wonder and to never let the magic die. And so now every March, which it is now March, my birthday is really in the beginning of March, but the only thing that I can think about is St. Patrick's Day. And it's become a thing for me. And even now that I'm removed from the center, I'm like, oh my God, it's St. Patrick's Day.
She's gonna have to come wreck
Remember
a
that
room.
one time when I
You
wasn't
can be our
prepared and I
leprechaun.
was so
Now you
panicked.
can be the
Oh my gosh, I
leprechaun.
can be the leprechaun.
You
Very
can.
cute.
That would be a cool idea.
Anyways, it all ended up working out, but that is where the green toilet comes from because I was really stretching and I was so panicked. And I don't know, literally almost like in tears. I'm like, I can't believe I failed these children and the leprechaun didn't come to our room. But there was one room that actually didn't. It was the preschool room that didn't do anything. And so all of my kids, because our room was like across from each other. And so all of my kids were like, we have a green potty, the
Oh my
leprechaun
gosh.
came. And then all of the preschoolers wanted to come to our room to see. They're like, no way. And so I didn't fail and it's fine and we can move on. But I get a little anxious when it's St. Patrick's Day.
Just the sweety palms a
I
little
do. I'm
bit.
just like, oh
Yeah.
my gosh. Is the leprechaun
She's
gonna
talking
come?
about it and she's like, I can feel my
I'm
hands.
sweating. Yeah.
So did you keep the green potty water like that on purpose just to entice them?
Sometimes, like in the beginning, when they were first really young, and I think we had a very young toddler room to start, like right after Emily. They were all, I think it was our oldest was just turning 2. So I really wanted to make it a fun experience for them. I want them to just see that going to the potty can be fun. It's not just a chore. It's not just something I have to do because you said so or because mommy
Yeah.
and daddy want. I want them to want to do it. So the St. Patty's potty always gave me the bright idea of I need to make it fun. I need to make this a fun experience. How can I make it fun? Do I need to make the water a different color? Do I maybe need to sit on the potty and show them that, yeah, even Miss Hannah does. And that's kind of where it started, where I would announce to the room, Miss Hannah is going to go to the potty, but she is coming back to play, because we can always first go to the potty and then play. It's not, I didn't
100%.
want to take them away from their play. I wanted them to almost bring their play, put it in my special potty bucket that I'm going to hold. You're going to go to the potty and then you get your toy back and you get to return to that play. It's not being taken away because you have to do something.
Oh my gosh, I remember that it used to take like a whole 5-minute transition to get you out of the room so that you could go to the potty.
Yeah, it was rough. And then everyone around me was like, potty, potty, Miss Hannah has to go to the potty. It was announcing to the whole center that Miss Hannah has to go to
That
the
Miss
potty now.
Hannah has to go to the potty. Yeah.
And I still to
Yeah.
this day will text in our group chat and be like, can I have a potty break?
The potty
Potty
break, please.
break.
Potty break, please.
I love that. So then that really like got all your kids like super into potty.
Yeah, they were very
How
enticed.
So we at our center, we had a potty training policy where it was that they had to be 2 weeks accident free in pull-ups before we were willing to take the pull-up off and let them go in underwear. So you guys kind of took that. I mean, you guys didn't follow that policy, which is fine. That policy really exists to protect us in the event that a parent comes after a weekend saying, my kid's potty trained, they don't need anything now, and then they have accidents all day long. So tell us about I guess how you guys went over that hurdle of the policy and how it kind of played out of removing the pull-ups.
Once we kind of saw that they were more and more interested, they're coming and sitting, it's becoming into that routine where when we asked them, would you like a diaper change or would you like to try the potty, they just 110% of the time went to the potty. They just didn't want to be on that change table. And personally, I loved changing diapers in the potty because it was so fast and easy. You're going to stand there, you're going to let me do everything, and then you get to come back out. So having them be wanting to go into the potty and seeing that the diaper was dry, I kind of already had made the executive decision that like after 2 days, not even, we were going to try and see how it feels, because it's a whole different experience to have a diaper on 24/7 and then to remove that and it's now underwear and it's a fabric texture. Most kids have low sensory problems, which causes them to be like, oh, now I'm aware I have no diaper, I have to go to the potty because I don't want to be in this wet pants or feel that wetness at all. So it was kind of introducing the textures to them and letting them be aware of, you're able to wear underwear over the diaper if you would like. But then it introduced it so that it was a slower transition from that diaper to underwear instead of going cold turkey right away.
So, what was your process in the event of an accident?
And
The dreaded
accidents
accident.
are gonna happen. If as long as it really wasn't on my carpet, I really wasn't upset because then I didn't
Anywhere
have
but
to
the
take the
carpet.
whole entire carpet out. And also
Yes.
after introducing that toilet and everything, we kind of already were able to pinpoint those certain behaviors when we knew that they had to pee, which was really helpful into us just asking them, do you need to use the potty? Nine
It's
times
like
out of 10,
clockwork.
they're going to tell you right away, yes, I need to use the potty.
It's
They don't
also
like,
so helpful when parents drop off and then they're like, they peed at this time. And then we're like, okay,
yes.
great. We can gauge when they have to go again. And then
Very good to
that
know.
sets the tone for the rest of the day in their pee schedule.
Yeah. And it's not, we're not withholding the washroom from them. The washroom is open for them 24/7. So even if it's not necessarily our diapering transition right now, we're still just going to ask them and offer it just in case, because it just gives them a little mental reminder of, oh, I don't have a
Oh, that
diaper on.
exists.
I
Yeah.
I do need to go use that potty that's sitting over there.
Yeah. And even like asking and they go and they take a look and they actually decide, never mind, I don't want to. Like, even that is so impactful, just having them step away from their play to go look at the potty and
Yeah.
contemplate. But it's
To really
progress.
just feel it. Yeah,
Yeah.
because there's there's such a, I guess, in daycare, you really want your kids to be on like a routine, right? And so it's like we go to the bathroom and then we wash our hands and then we sit down for lunch and then we wash our hands and go to the bathroom and wash our hands again and then sit down on our beds. And through that process, the kids never really have the time to actually like tune into their bodies and to decide themselves when they need to go potty. And so I thought that it was a really cool way that you approached it, where you really gave them that power of autonomy, where if they needed to go, that was when they went. Not on your clock, not on our clock. It was all about them and what their body needed.
Yeah. And I
And I
think it
think,
was the first time I really saw it was outside, middle of winter, snow pants on. And this little boy looked at me and he goes, Miss Hannah, potty. That's all he said was, Miss Hannah, potty. And right away, I was ecstatic. And I celebrated that moment of, oh my goodness, you're telling me, let's go to the potty right now. Because as soon as they tell me that they need to go to the potty, I want to make sure that I can always offer that. Because it, like, that's a huge thing for them to even like recognize at the junior toddler level. Like, these are 17-month-old kids
yeah,
starting to use the potty, starting to actually kind of listen to that and to get the feeling of, oh wow, I do feel better once I go to the potty. I can go when she offers if I would like.
Yeah. So, what would be your process, or what would you say about children that are maybe nonverbal that can't communicate that they have to use the potty? What was that like for you?
Of course, having a nonverbal child is always going to feel like it's more difficult, but one thing that we learned through the whole biting fiasco and everything was that visuals really do help. Even for
Hmm.
kids who have such a loud vocabulary, still really helps to see that first we can go to the potty, then we can do this, and showing them that their play is always going to be safe. We're not taking it away as they're in the potty and it totally disappears. We're here to kind of protect that and to more or less, like, I visually had to show them that Miss Hannah also can sit on that little tiny potty, even sitting beside them as they're on the one over there, just having a conversation, maybe singing their favorite song, showing them that their favorite toy is going to sit outside the washroom and watch them. They're going to join in. Showing them that they're not alone was very important for those kids that weren't able to communicate.
Yeah,
totally.
potties
And
can be scary.
yeah, and just understanding that like words are not the only form of communication that you can have,
Yeah.
and that every child who is like nonverbal or just like doesn't have the words like yet, it doesn't mean that they can't communicate, and everyone communicates in their own different special way. And so you guys just like accepting that, understanding that, and learning what communication means from each of your kids is so huge too, so that they feel understood
Yeah.
and
And as
safe.
soon as as soon as they said no, or they felt like maybe at this time I don't have to use the potty, it was so important to respect that and to not force it. Because
Don't force
once you
kids.
no,
Yep.
once you start to force it, or even just trying to like vocalize it, maybe you should go use the potty, they're already thinking in their head, no I don't, No, I don't. No,
The
I don't.
panic.
Why are you still asking me this? I don't have to go. I don't want to do this. And now they're so overwhelmed, and they're always going to go back to that overwhelming feeling associated with the potty. And I never ever wanted that. I always wanted it to be on the kids' terms. If they were interested, I would slowly start to show them that Miss Hannah's interested too, and showing them that as an educator, I was also interested. It showed them that it was okay for them to be interested.
I think that's so cool because I think that a lot of educators that will go take bathroom breaks don't say anything. They just walk out of the room, they leave. The kids don't know. And
Yeah.
so then when you're telling them to go to the potty, they're not understanding that you have also been going. And
Yeah.
so then that also feels like a not fair moment. Um, and so it's really cool that you verbalize that, so that they understand that it's you too. It's everybody. It's
Yeah,
normal. It's
everybody does it.
yeah.
Oh, yeah. And you're
That's
able
so
to
cool.
go to the potty for that 5 minutes and feel at peace that your room is okay, but also your kids can take that 5 minutes to go use the potty and go back to their play. It was
Yeah.
huge.
And sometimes they get potty buddies, which we love.
Which
There's
was,
been
it's
a lot
awesome.
of times where a kid has taken the leap and has become successful in their potty journey and just adopts another child. And so many times, only on the condition that they could go together, would they use the potty.
And
That's so
right
funny.
beside each other. They have to both be sitting it at the exact same time, or it's still not okay.
That is so funny and
I'm
so
calling
cute.
out your son
But
because I'm talking about him.
Definitely.
okay, but also, doesn't that just like again be another testament to the community that you guys had in
Yes.
that room, right?
Oh, yeah.
Like,
And it
what a
follows
cool
through to
thing to
this
feel
day.
safe
He
with someone
still
else.
uses the potty with his potty buddies since junior
They've
toddler.
still been potty
It's
buddies for that long.
still potty buddies. It's hilarious,
It's been
but it's
years. They're
also
still potty
really
buddies.
amazing to see. And for them in that first moment in that junior toddler classroom, for them to want to share that experience with someone is
It's really
also
cool.
huge.
It's
It's
yeah.
so huge. And it's another aspect of they're able to use their gentle hands. They're able to share with others. They're learning so many things through that just one interaction of them going to the potty together. It's way
Aw,
more than we really think.
that's so cute. See, I didn't realize that he had like a potty buddy. And so that makes so much sense why I always have to sit in the bathroom with him while he goes to the potty, even
That's
now. It's
hilarious.
it's only been just in the last like week or so that he'll go, I need privacy.
Oh, we're
And then I
developing.
Oh,
leave, and then 30 seconds maybe. Mommy, I miss you. Come sit with me. Because he's
oh.
so conditioned to having a potty buddy. So
Well, it
funny.
also helps them like take the stress off of, yes, you're sitting on something that's huge and new. You could fall in, you could drop it, like you could do 1,000 things in the potty, but having an educator or having that potty buddy to just talk about something else in that moment, take their mind off of that stress.
Totally. I think it helps like the FOMO a little bit too, because if you're in the bathroom with your potty buddy, they're not having fun without you.
True.
Nope. You get to
We're
both
in
go
it
back to your
together.
play together.
Exactly. That's huge. That's so cool.
I think that kind of mentality transfers in just everything that happens in a day, regardless of the potty. Things that are scary or things that you're unsure of, or even meal times. And they don't want to eat it, but their potty buddy's eating it. So they're going to try it.
Oh, yeah.
And I
True.
think that that relationship is so special. You really got to look out for those because those are like
Yeah.
groundbreaking. Those are the leaders of your
Relationships,
community. Yep.
connection, all that. Yeah. It's
Yeah.
huge for these kids.
And
So,
it starts
Hannah,
so young.
yes, totally, 100%. Quick pause from the episode to say, if you're not already following us on TikTok and Instagram, come join our little online educator community. We share educator stories, motivation, activity ideas, and clips from our podcast episodes throughout the week. So, if you're looking for relatable educator content, fresh ideas, and reminders that you're not doing this alone, come hang out with us over there. You can find us at the.educators.table on both TikTok and Instagram. We can't wait to engage with you.
So, what advice would you give to another educator who's maybe afraid of potty training and hiding behind potty training policies in daycare? What advice would you give to them to overcome that?
One thing that I will say is don't overthink it. Once we start to overthink things, overthinking is a never ending battle with yourself. Once you allow yourself to overthink about a policy or overthink about maybe this child really, really doesn't want to, but they're going into the next age group, it's not overthinking those little things and almost turning that overthinking into less thinking. Don't think about it. Just ask them and follow through with that every single day. The follow through and the respect that we give to the toddlers or whatever age group it is, it could be preschool, is so important. And they'll pick up on that faster than they will with us just saying, go to the potty. We need to use the potty now. Showing them that we respect them in that way and will follow through with those words is a huge, huge piece to it all.
I love that.
Me too. That was awesome. Well, thank you so much, Hannah. I think we had a
Thank
really
you.
cool, constructive discussion, and I think that gives other educators maybe a little bit of hope, a little bit of that light at the end of the tunnel for anyone that's kind of stuck in the trenches of potty training, or just like really struggling with that. So thank you so much.
Thank
It's been
you.
wonderful having you on the podcast and just being able to have a conversation with us. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me. Even having these conversations, I feel like it helps me reflect back on all the good things, but also the construction of things that I may need to work on. And it's just, you can always grow as a child, parent, kid, educator. You can always grow.
Aw.
I love that. Beautiful. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Hannah.
Of course, thank you.
Thank you so much for pulling up a chair at our table. And special thanks to Hannah for sharing all of her stories and experiences in the field. Next week, me and Vicky, we're going solo and we're spilling the tea on gossip in the workplace. Join us next week. Don't forget to subscribe.